find this fascinating because our brains are all so wired so completely differently, whether you're neurodiverse, whether you're like a not neurodiverse, like the way that we're all wired is just so individual. And like you said, I think, you know, like you must rely, again, total assumption, but you must rely quite heavily on patterns to see where you are and what you're doing and how it's going, and with medication, and it's just a whole minefield of other things that you've got to think about, as well as everything outside of like your life. So for example, like, what was it like for you going to college with this information, knowing that you were epileptic?
Yeah, when I went off to university, it was it was really interesting because I had to really fight for getting a bottom bunk and like to get any sort of accommodation. And the one that I specific like that the baseline that I needed, like the absolute bare minimum, was a bottom bunk, because I was living on in-campus dorms, and in the US you're sharing a room with people, and I got put in this like overflow housing, which meant they crammed more people into a smaller area, so there was 3 to a room.
Love that.
It was great. It was like a room that was supposed to have 1 person, and they were like, let's put 3 in, why not?
Woohoo, bonding.
So the absolute bare minimum I need is just like, I need a bottom bunk, so just in case I don't fall off the top. That's it.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to give it to me. They said, well, you kind of applied late, you should have put your preferences in earlier. And I was like, well, it was just something I didn't think about until you gave me a top bunk. It just didn't cross my mind. I just hadn't thought about it. And they said, well, we already assigned the bunk beds, maybe you should talk to your roommate. And I'm like, well, what if I get someone who really doesn't like me? And what if they also have a reason that they need a bottom bunk? Then like, this is not going to work out. I had to like trek across in person and like bring a giant stack of paperwork and written note from my neurologist to say she needs a bottom bunk, and you need to accommodate her. And then they gave it to me, and so that was like, welcome to university. This is how it's gonna be.
It's so wild that you had to fight for something, and like you said, bare minimum, like literally bare minimum, so that you didn't hurt yourself, that you had to go and be like, here is all my paperwork to prove I am what I say I am. Here you fucking go.
Yeah,
give me the bottom bunk. Like, that is so, this is why we like these conversations need to be had, because people are fighting for the bare minimum when it should just be a given.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, because you can't see it, like you can't be like, look, she has epilepsy, like unless, even if I have a seizure out in public, you're still not gonna be like, look, she has epilepsy, because like a lot of people might have one-off seizures in their lifetime, and that might not be epilepsy. So that like you still, they might need other accommodations, there might be different things that are happening, so it's not something you can just point at and see. So yeah, it was literally fighting for the bare minimum. I tried to ask for, hey, if I have a seizure, can I have like if I have a seizure right, like when it's upcoming to an assignment or a test, can I have like an extension, because I'm going to be out of it, I'm just not going to be with it. They didn't give it to me. They said there was not enough proof, because I'm functioning most of the time, and my seizures are not regular enough for them to give it to them. And I was like, I think they really just wanted somebody having like a seizure once a week, a seizure every day, probably during the day, but because I was not that stereotype, which is not most people, then they didn't want to give it to me. So what I had to do was, I just like, kind of similar what I did in the last like couple of years of high school, was just kind of become close to the professors and tell them, hey, I have epilepsy. Sometimes I'm going to have a seizure. And most of the time they were pretty cool with it. There was a couple of kind of dickheads, but most people were like understanding and like, yeah, let me know if you have a seizure, then like we can talk about things, we can move things around. Most people are humans, but I think it's just the fact that you have to go and tell the individual professors instead of having the paperwork for you, that really like helps build your case, makes it a lot harder.